you all doing? Hello and welcome everybody. What is going on? So I wanted to make a video about this specific topic just because there is such a division right now between so many of the Bayern fans that I feel like this might be a good opportunity to actually talk about this. And that is that Uli Hoeness today in an interview basically stated that he's willing to step down whenever they find a suitable replacement. That they think that possibly within the next 2 to 3 years he will be stepping down. Again, if there is a suitable replacement, which kind of coincides with what they said recently, but they always kind of say in the last few months and weeks and years as well, where essentially they say both him and Rummenigge say that they would, if both of them were to retire at once, that would be an issue. But the way they want to do it is where like one person retires and then the other person can retire maybe 2-3 years down the line. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about this is, like I said, there's been such a division recently, not just recently, but I'd say for about 2-3 years, especially recently, on the community, on the online, let's say the online community, right? I think the best way to start it is to talk about why there is such a division. Now, the division obviously comes from some people. The way I always categorize it, there's some people that are just like, we need to modernize the club. The club is not, following along the times. All the other clubs are spending a significant amount of money. We are not. We don't have those marquee signings, those big, 100 million signings. You look at Real Madrid, they have that. You look at Manchester United, they pretty much have that. You look at PSG, they've just had two in the last, technically two in the last year. So there's a lot of big clubs, that are spending a lot of money, that are spending tremendous amount of money each summer, each transfer period, and Bayern is pretty much being left behind. You look at Juventus, they spend a lot of money. Like, you look at all our rivals, Barcelona, they spend a lot of money. They spend a lot of money on Suarez, then a lot of money on Coutinho. So they're spending a lot of money too. So you have all these clubs spending a lot of money except Bayern. And you can say a lot of people, they're essentially demanding the club to follow along the times, the club to spend that kind of money on players, and I can understand them. Then you have the other side of the spectrum, which is where people are saying that Uli Hoeness and Carlos Rummenigge, they've been doing a job so fantastic throughout the years, that they clearly have a vision, and whatever happens, happen, because they know from the managerial side what is best, and they've proven that in the past. They've got a track record, and so far it's been working pretty well. So you have both sides of the spectrum. You technically have also like somewhere in the middle where people are like, what, regardless what happens, it doesn't matter. There's some people are just like that regardless what happens, it really doesn't matter as long as we just bring the results on the pitch. Who cares about bringing new players? Who cares about the managerial staff, the higher ups, and all that? Let's just play football. Let's just win the games. And to me, that's always been just the very optimistic side. It's like, yeah, who cares about anything really? Let's just win games. I mean, ultimately that's what it really boils down to. But there's so much more to that, obviously. Now, I don't want this video to be basically a divide. I want everyone to have their opinion. I want everyone to be able to share their opinion, regardless, what side they're on, or if they're on a completely different side. But the reason why I wanted to make this video essentially was because obviously Uli Hoeness is saying that he would step down if there were a suitable replacement. And then, a lot of people have been touting names, obviously, as potential replacements. I don't want to get into that just yet. That's a story for the future. But I want to talk about Uli Hoeness a little bit, because right now he always has been, actually, in fact, the big divider in a way. It's always been like that, it's really always been like that, because he essentially says and he essentially does what he essentially says and he essentially does. It's really that simple. Like, he says and does what comes to his mind, and he does what he thinks is best for Bayern at the end of the day. And if that means if that means doing drastic change, or for example coming out of that press conference recently and saying, you know, what he was saying, then so be it. Like, he does not care. Yeah, my lips are bleeding, I don't know, but he does not care. He will just say and do what he is saying, and now I can't stop focusing on that, damn it. But yeah, we need someone like that, in my opinion, especially for a club like Bayern. You have two types of, you know, presidents. The first one is the big, bull-headed president that takes charge, that, you know, just sees a problem and runs right towards it to try and solve it, which is basically Uli Hoeness. And then you have the second type of president, who's just like a schemer. Well, let's call it successful. The two types of successful president. The second type of president, which is the schemer, the one behind the scene, the one that will, you know, pick those threads and just put them there, put that there, put that there, and it all works out like a piece of puzzle at the end of the day. And then you obviously have the unsuccessful ones, which are the ones that just don't have the experience, knowledge, or the talent. Now, Uli Hoeness, like I said, he's clearly of the very first variant, where he just, you know, he's like, yeah, we're just going right to it. Like, there's an issue, all right, we're heading straight towards it. Oh, there's a potential issue. Oof, let's head towards that. Yeah, he's the kind of person that will essentially, if you're, it's really a top club, is very similar to a top club. You look at most top clubs, you know, they have a very bull-headed, very strong personality at the helm, because quite frankly, you need that in case there are bad moments, you know, in case there are bad moments, bad opportunities, you know, bad times at the club. You need a kind of person like that who can really just stir up the pot and just, you know, say what he wants, and ultimately, you know, has a plan at the back of his head. And that's kind of what Uli Hoeness is. But I feel a lot of people right now, they want the second type. They want the calm, strategic, you know, the one that is analytical behind the scenes, you know, does his work behind the scenes. You don't see him, you know, ever, you know, talking big in the media, and just always behind the scenes. You don't really see them, and I can see why. You know, it brings an air of calmness, and it brings an air of just tranquility. You know that basically the times of FC Hollywood are behind us. That's what people always say, until this season, of course. But I can see why people would want either one. Like I said, personally, I think we need someone of the first type, someone that is just bullheaded, someone that will just, you know, just rush towards something, because I think that, quite frankly, it suits Bayern very well. You know, historically, we've always been a club with massive egos. So having someone with an even bigger ego, someone with an even bigger personality, is very suitable, because then he will be almost like the alpha dog, you know, the alpha male amongst all the alpha males, and essentially, you know, he will demand that respect and he'll get that respect. Whereas someone that is just quiet and just scheming, I might not always get across. You know, they might not always get that across. That might not always be the way it goes, you know, and then people will be like, yeah, whatever, we don't really care about him. And if then the president says something, they're like, yeah, I'll just move. So for me, we need a kind of personality, a strong personality, you know, a strong person in charge, and it's going to be quite interesting to see who the future is. Now, what I'm going to do with this video, I want all of you, ladies and gentlemen, to just comment down below, just your thoughts on the club as a whole. You know, I'll read every single comment. Just comment your thoughts on the club and the current situation, on, you know, the future of the club, on the direction the club is heading in your opinion, and all that. Just comment it all down below. Whether it's about the players, whether it's about the management, whether it's about, you know, anything related to the club at all, just leave that down in the description down in the comment section down below. Let's see what everyone thinks. Let's just see where everyone, you know, where everyone sees the club heading, not just managerial wise, player wise, everything wise. So you all do that, and I will see you then. Until next time, everyone, peace out and have a nice day.